All right, let's get into this ghost story that's been making the rounds online. It's got all the perfect ingredients for a sleepless night. A creepy remote gas station, a guy who's desperate for a job, and a list of rules that are, and I mean this literally, a matter of life and death. We're going to unpack exactly what is going on out there on that haunted highway. So, this right here, this is the last and, honestly, the most chilling rule given to the night shift attendant. But what could it possibly mean? Well, to figure that out, we've got to rewind to the very beginning and meet the guy who had no choice but to follow these terrifying instructions.
I mean, you have to ask, right? Who in their right mind signs up for a job that comes with a disclaimer like, no escape? Well, the answer, as it so often is just pure, unfiltered desperation.
So, meet our main character, Arjun. This guy is backed into a corner. His mom is sick, his tuition is months behind, and a scholarship he was banking on just vanished. This job isn't some career move, it's the only thing keeping him afloat. Even his friend told him, dude, that place is bad news. But Arjun had no other choice. He had to take it. And this is where things start to get really weird. When Arjun shows up for his first shift, the boss doesn't give him a tour or show him how to use the register. Nope. He just points to an old, dusty diary sitting in the office and says, follow every single rule in here. Don't ask questions. Then he just switches off his phone. Talk about a red flag.
So, the million-dollar question is, what on earth was written in that mysterious diary? Because these rules are what transform this from just a crummy night job into a high-stakes game of survival.
Now just look at these instructions for a second. They're so specific, so odd. This isn't your typical employee handbook, is it? It reads more like a guide for how to deal with something not quite human. And Arjun is about to find out exactly why.
And you know what? It doesn't take long for things to go sideways. The neon sign outside starts to flicker like something out of a horror movie, and then, out of the pitch-black night, his very first customer pulls in.
A beat-up black car rolls up to the pump, and its headlights are completely off. Right away, rule number 2 is put to the test. You can just imagine Arjun's heart pounding in his chest, but he remembers what his boss said and heads outside. The car's windows are completely blacked out, and from inside a creepy, chilling whisper says, "Tank full cordeau," which just means fill the tank. Arjun, trying to keep it together, fills the car up and tells the voice the price.
And this is the moment that all doubt just evaporates. The window slowly rolls down. But it's not a person's hand that offers the money. It's the pale, bony fingers of a skeleton. Arjun is absolutely terrified, shaking, but somehow he manages to take the cash.
The money itself feels wrong. It's unnaturally cold, colder than ice. Remembering rule number 3, he scrambles back inside, shoves the freezing bills into that old rusty tin box, and then immediately gets sick from the sheer terror of it all.
As he's trying to recover in the office, his eyes land on a key piece of this whole puzzle, a yellowed newspaper from way back in 1998. The headline is horrifying. It describes a massive fatal accident right on this very road at exactly 3 a.m., where everybody in a bus and several cars died. And suddenly, the pieces start to click into place.
Everything has been building to this. All the strange rules, the creepy customer, that old newspaper, it's all pointing to the most dangerous moment of the night. As the clock ticks closer and closer to 3 a.m., Arjun braces himself. He does exactly what the rules say. He locks the doors. He draws the curtains. The second the clock hits 3 a.m., all the lights in the station die. He can hear cars pulling in and the muffled sound of a whole crowd of people outside. His curiosity, it just gets the best of him. He peeks through a tiny gap in the curtain and sees these shadowy figures with eerie, glowing green eyes. And then he sees it. The black car is back, and it is just laying on the horn, over and over. They saw him. He broke the rule. He completely panics and tries to call his friend, his only lifeline. But the voice that answers the phone isn't his friend. It's that same cold, ghostly whisper repeating, "Fill the tank," again and again. The horror isn't just outside anymore. It's come through the phone line. And with that, he just passes out. Arjun wakes up the next morning. The office is a complete mess, but he's somehow okay. And then his boss, Navin Singh, shows up, and he doesn't even seem surprised. In fact, he actually congratulates Arjun on surviving the night. And this is when Arjun finally gets the answers he's been dying for. So get this. The boss explains that the rules weren't just to keep Arjun safe. They were to protect the spirits themselves, to keep them from realizing the horrible truth that they're dead and their journey ended a long, long time ago.
It turns out this gas station was the very last place the victims of that 1998 crash ever stopped. For them, time is frozen, so every single night, like clockwork, they pull in, they get gas, and they head back out onto a road that leads them absolutely nowhere. They're stuck in a loop.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? You have two completely separate realities overlapping in one physical place. To Arjun, it's just a job. To the ghosts, it's an eternal purgatory. That cold money they use, it's from 1998, because in their world, that's the year it still is.
And this is where it all clicks. Suddenly, all those bizarre rules make perfect, terrifying sense. You don't ask their destination, because sadly, they don't have one. You ignore the headlights because you don't want to disturb their fragile reality. And you hide at 3 a.m. because, on the night of the crash, the attendant had already gone home. Seeing Arjun there is a shocking reminder that time has moved on, that they are dead and he is alive.
But hold on. This whole thing leads to one final, incredible twist. It raises one last question and gives this entire nightmare a whole new layer of meaning.
So you have to be wondering the same thing I was. If seeing a living person shatters their reality and makes them angry, how is Arjun still alive? He broke the most important rule of all.
The answer is just, wow. By seeing Arjun, the driver of that black car was forced to finally confront the truth. But instead of lashing out, the spirit accepted it. Its endless, repeating journey was finally over. And as a final act, almost as a thank you for setting it free, it protected Arjun from the other angry spirits. The proof? It left its car key behind on the counter. The journey was truly over.
And this brings us to the haunting final lines of the story. Despite everything he went through, Arjun decides to go back to work. He tells his friend, "Some waits never end. I will have to wait today as well." And that just leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Is he going back just for the money? Or has he found a strange new purpose to wait for other lost souls, hoping that maybe, just maybe, he can help them finally reach the end of their journey too?